Hey everyone! In this video, we're going to be taking a look at how to divide decimal numbers. So much like the multiplication of decimal numbers, there is a relation here to how to divide whole numbers. But because of the decimals, there are a couple different things we need to take into account. So I want to take a look at two different examples, and I actually want to explain two different ways that we can handle the division of decimal numbers. So my first example, I have 7.5, and I want to divide that by 1.5. So one way that I can actually handle this is I can actually put this into a fraction. So division is the same as a fraction. So I could rewrite this as 7.5 over 1.5. And then from here, because I'm dealing with a fraction, I can actually multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same thing. So if I notice and I take a look at these two fractions, they both have one decimal spot. So let's say we're going to multiply and I want to get rid of these decimals. So I'm going to multiply by 10 over 10. Multiplying by 10 over 10 is equivalent to multiplying by 1. So I'm not changing the value of my fraction here, but what I am doing is I'm moving those decimal spots over one place, and I end up with 75 over 15. 75 over 15, those are both whole numbers now, and this division is actually pretty simple. So 75 over 15, that will simplify to 5. So that tells me that 7.5 divided by 1.5, that is also equal to 5. So that works out nice if we notice that our decimal spots are the same amount or that the two numbers work well together. Now let's talk about the second way. So the second way we can divide decimal numbers is by using long division. But if I'm going to use long division, my divisor, I want that to be a whole number. So the number I'm dividing by. So in this case, I have 0.3 divided by 1.25. So the number I'm dividing by is the 1.25. I want this to be a whole number. So to make this into a whole number, I would need to multiply by 100. That will move the decimal spot two places, and I'll end up with 125. To maintain our balance here, I also need to take 0.3 and multiply that by 100. So this will also move the decimal spot two places to the right, so I end up with 30. So 0.3 divided by 1.25 is actually equivalent to 30 divided by 125. So now let's write this in our long division format. So we have 125, that's our divisor, and we're going to divide 30 by that. Okay? Taking a look at this, 125, it doesn't go into 30. So what I can do is I can actually add on zeros to the end of my 30 to make this work out. So if I do that, so I put the decimal point at the end, I add a 0. Right above this, in my final answer then, I'm going to have a decimal point as well. So now 125 does go into 300. Goes into 300 two times. So 2 times 125, that's going to be 250. And here we'll subtract. If I do that subtraction, I'll end up with 50. And we'll repeat. So 125 doesn't go into 50, but we can add on a 0. We can add on a 0 down here. And 125 does go into 500. It actually goes into 500 4 times. And then 4 times 125, we end up with 500. And if we subtract that, we have a remainder of 0. If my remainder here wasn't 0, I would just need to keep repeating this process until we do end up with a remainder of 0. So our final answer then, 0.3 divided by 1.25, my answer is 0.24. So using long division to divide our two decimals.